Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jules. It's a new year and it's a new TBR. Let's talk about what I'm going to read in January. So you may have noticed by the thumbnail, this is a teeny tiny stack of books because I have a teeny tiny TBR. In all honesty, I am probably going to read a lot of books in January because I'm doing a month-long challenge, which I'll talk about in a second, but they're not on my TBR. I did not put the books that I am planning on reading for that readathon on a TBR. So the only books on my TBR that I'm going to be sharing with you are the books that I know I need to read this month or that I want to read this month. Like if it's a buddy read or for Patreon or a book club. So let's get into it. I'm pretty sure the only readathon I'm going to do this month is a month-long readathon. It's for Gwen's Patreon and we are playing Clue. So basically the gist of it is there are tiles that you have to read a certain number of pages for to move tiles to get to rooms. So once you're in a room, you have to read a book and each room has a different prompt. I'm not going to share those with you because I don't know if I'm going to get through all of those. So basically, just because there's X amount of rooms that have clues in them doesn't mean that I'm going to need to get to them. So I may figure out the game before I get to all those rooms. So that is why I didn't put them on my TBR because they may not all get read. Also, the books that I'm reading while I'm in the hallways, I didn't put on my TBR because I'm just going to be reading whatever I want to read. And I don't know. Currently though, because I've already started, I'm rereading Fourth Wing. So that's on my TBR because I'm currently reading it. And I will also be rereading Iron Flame because Onyx Storm is coming out and you know I got to read that. So that is, I don't know if I'm going to get to Onyx Storm in January, honestly, because it's the end of the month and it just depends. I have my pre-order. I don't know when I'm going to get it. So we'll see. If I get to it, it's on my list. So while we're on the subject of Gwen and her Patreon, for the month of January, we are reading Peter Pan. This is our book club pick. I've never actually read this. I've just seen the movie, so we'll see. But alongside of this, I did pick up Straight On Till Morning. This is a Peter Pan retelling. So I do want to go ahead and read both of these at the, around the same time. So I will probably do a reading vlog for this. Also in Gwen's Patreon, some of us are going to be reading the Anne of Green Gables series. So we are starting this month and we're going to read one book a month. So we are going to be reading Anne of Green Gables in January. I don't have a copy of it because it is in transit to my library. So I should have it soon. The next book I'm picking up is for Jess's Sleep When I'm Dead book club. I am actually a co-host for the month of January, which I am very excited about. This is my first time doing it. So we are going to be reading Till Death Do Us Part by Lori Elizabeth Flynn. And we are also going to be doing an author interview with the author. So I'm very excited about that. And I don't know if I'm going to get to this book, but it has been on my shelf forever. But Gabby's book troupe is going to be reading Dark Places by Gillian Flynn in January. And like I said, I've had this on my shelf for a while. So if you hear tippy tappies, that's a thing around here, right? I have had this on my bookshelf for a while, probably over a year. So I'm excited that they're reading it and hopefully I can get to it. And then the last book that I'm going to be picking up, we're circling back around to Gwen. Gwen and I are going to be buddy reading Christine by Stephen King. And it's a chunker. Her and I buddy read I Was a Teenage Slasher a while back. And while we both hated the book, we had a fantastic time buddy reading it because we Marco Polo'd back and forth and we were just roasting the book. And it was just such a fun time. But our plan is to buddy read this together at the same time. So we're around the same place when we're discussing it. And then we're going to watch the movie. So I'm very excited for that. That is my short TBR for January. I am embracing short TBRs, y'all. I do not want to put 20 books on my list to get to when it's just too much pressure. So we are taking a step back, slowing down, and enjoying the ride. So that is it, friends. Until my next video, be yourself, be awesome, be kind.